Most students don't fail the real estate exam because they're not smart enough.
50 hard real estate exam questions you must know to pass the PSI exam. Let's go.
They fail because the exam asks questions in a way that feels confusing. It can feel tricky and even sometimes unfair. The exam is not just testing what you memorized. It's testing whether you understand the concept in a scenario. So don't just watch, participate, pause the video, and answer before I explain.
Part 1. Contracts.
Question 1. A buyer submits an offer. The seller now changes the closing date and signs the document. What has the seller created? A. Acceptance, B. A counteroffer, C. An assignment, or D. Innovation. The answer is B. It's a counteroffer. Any change to the original offer rejects the original offer and creates a new one. The exam trap here is signature does not always mean acceptance. Question 2. A buyer and a seller sign a contract. Later, the buyer discovers they were pressured into signing under threat. The contract is most likely A. Void, B. Voidable, C. Valid with no issue, or D. Unenforceable forever. The answer is B. Voidable. A voidable contract exists, but the harmed party may actually choose to cancel it. Void means no legal contract from the beginning. Voidable, on the other hand, the contract can be cancelled. Question 3. A buyer transfers their right to purchase a property to another buyer, but the original buyer is still responsible under the contract. This is most likely A. Novation, B. An assignment, C. Rescission, or D. A breach. The answer is B. That is an assignment. An assignment transfers the rights, but unless the original party is released, they may still remain liable. Novation replaces one party with another and releases the original party. Question 4. A new buyer replaces the original buyer, and the seller agrees to release the original buyer from all liability. Now this is A. An assignment, B. Novation, C. An option, or D. A counteroffer. The answer is B. It's novation. Novation means substitution of one party or a new party of a contract with the release of the original obligation. Question 5. A buyer makes an offer, but before the seller accepts, the buyer communicates withdrawal of the offer. Now, what happened? A. A breach, B. Revocation, C. Rescission, or D. Novation. The answer is B. It's revocation. The offeror may withdraw the offer before it is communicated.
Thank you, Ben. And hi, everybody. I'm Iwalani. I'm Ben's assistant, and I'll be teaching the classes together with Ben and Chemo. Next question. A contract contains all required elements, but one party is a minor. The contract is most likely A. Void, B. Voidable, C. Fully unenforceable by both parties, D. Automatically illegal. The answer is B. Voidable.
A minor generally lacks full legal capacity, so the minor may be able to disaffirm the contract.
A seller accepts a buyer's offer, but the acceptance is never communicated to the buyer. Is there a contract? A. Yes, because seller signed. B. Yes, because seller intended to accept. C. No, because acceptance must be communicated. D. No, because all real estate contracts are unilateral. The answer is C.
Acceptance must be communicated for mutual assent to exist. Question 8. A buyer and a seller agree orally to the sale of real property. The buyer later wants to enforce the agreement, and what was the biggest issue here? A. The statute of fraud, B. RESPA, C. Fair housing, or D. Steering?
The answer is A. Statute of frauds. Contracts for the sale of real estate generally must be in writing to be enforceable. A contract is missing consideration. What is the likely result? A. Valid contract. B. Void contract. C. Executed contract. D. Bilateral contract.
The answer is B. It's a void contract. Consideration is one of the essential elements of a valid contract. Question 10. Before both parties have signed a contract, but closing has not happened yet. The contract is A. Executed, B. Executory, C. Void, or D. Implied.
The answer is B. Executory. Executory means something still remains to be done. Executed means fully performed.
Part 2. Agency.
Question 11. An agent represents the seller. A buyer asks the agent if the seller would accept a lower price. Now, what should the agent do? A. Tell the buyer the lowest price. B. Protect the seller's confidential information. C. Represent both parties automatically. Or D. Ignore the buyer. The answer is B. The agent owes loyalty and confidentiality to the client.
The seller's motivation or lowest acceptable price is confidential. Okay, let's take a look at question 12. A broker represents both buyer and seller with informed written consent. This is A. Universal agency, B. Dual agency, C. Special agency only, D. Subagency.
The answer is B. It's dual agency.
Dual agency requires disclosure and informed consent.
Question 13. A person is not represented by the agent but receives honesty and fair business dealings. That person is best described as A. A client, B. A customer, C. The principal, or D. Fiduciary. The answer is B. It's a customer.
A client is represented. A customer is not represented but must still be treated honestly.
Question 14. A listing agent is authorized to market and sell one property. And this is what type of agency? A. Universal agency, B. A general agency, C. A special agency, or D. Implied agency only. The answer is C. It's a special agency.
A special agent has limited authority for a specific task.
Question 15. A property manager has ongoing authority to manage a property for an owner. That is usually A. A general agency, B. Special agency, C. Universal agency, or D. No agency. The answer is A. General agency.
Property managers usually have broader, ongoing authority within the scope of management.
Question 16. An agent discovers a material defect in a property. What should the agent do? A. Disclose it. B. Hide it if the seller requests. C. Only disclose if the buyer asks. Or D. Wait until closing. The answer is A. Disclose it.
Material facts must be disclosed.
Question 17. A broker receives an earnest money deposit from a buyer. What fiduciary duty is most directly involved? A. Obedience, B. Accounting, C. Loyalty, or D. Confidentiality. The answer is B. Accounting.
Money and documents must be properly handled, tracked, and accounted for.
Question 18. An agent obeys a client's instruction in order to discriminate against families with children. What is true? A. The agent must obey. B. The duty of obedience does not include illegal instructions, C, the client is always responsible, not the agent, or D, it is allowed if written.
The answer is B. Agents must obey lawful instructions only.
Alright, part 3, ownership.
Okay, I'm your instructor, Kimo, and I will continue with the next question. Two people own property together. One owner dies. Their interest passes to their heirs, not the other owner. This is most likely A. Joint tenancy. B. Tenancy in common. C. Tenancy by entirety. D. Severalty.
The answer is B. It's tenancy in common.
That's right, because tenants in common do not have automatic survivorship rights.
Question 20. Two owners hold title with the right of survivorship. When one owner dies, the surviving owner receives an interest automatically. Now this is A. Tenancy in common, B. Joint tenancy, C. An estate in sufferance, or D. A leasehold estate. The answer is B. It's joint tenancy.
Yes, always remember, joint tenancy includes right of survivorship.
Question 21. A person owns property alone. The ownership is called A. Severalty, B. Joint tenancy, C. Tenancy in common, or D. Community ownership. The answer is A. It's tenancy in severalty.
Yes, because severalty means sole ownership.
Question 22. A person receives ownership for the duration of another person's life. Now this is A. Fee simple, B. A life estate, C. A leasehold estate, or D. An easement. The answer is B. It's a life estate. A life estate lasts for the life of a measuring person. Question 23. An owner has the greatest possible ownership interest recognized by law. Now this is A. Fee simple, B. A life estate, C. A leasehold estate, or D. An easement opportunity. The answer is A. Fee simple absolute. This is the highest form of private ownership. Now, question 24. A tenant has a lease for 5 years. What type of estate does the tenant have? A. A freehold estate, B. A leasehold estate, C. Fee simple estate, or D. A life estate. The answer is B. A leasehold estate. The tenant has possession but not ownership.
Part 4. Easements, rights, and encumbrances.
Question 25. A driveway crosses Lot A to give access to Lot B. Now Lot B benefits. Lot A is burdened. What is this? A. An easement opportunity, B. An easement in gross, C. A license, or D. An encroachment. The answer is A. An easement opportunity. It benefits one parcel and it burdens another. Remember, it runs with the land. Question 26. A utility company has the right to place power lines across private property. Now this is usually A. An easement in gross, B. A life estate, C. Fee simple, or D. Novation. The answer is A. It's an easement in gross. It benefits a person or a company, but not a neighboring parcel. Question 27. A neighbor's fence extends 3 feet over the property line. Now this is called A. An easement, B. Encroachment, C. A lease, or D. A lien. The answer is B. An encroachment. An encroachment is an unauthorized intrusion onto another property. Question 28. A property has a mortgage lien. This is best described as A. An encumbrance, B. A freehold estate, C. A fixture, or D. A leasehold estate. The answer is A. It's an encumbrance. An encumbrance is a claim, a restriction, or a liability, and that affects the title or use.
Part 5. Financing.
Question 29. A borrower pledges real property as a security for a loan, but keeps possession of the property. Now this is A. Hypothecation, B. Alienation, C. Defeasance, or D. Subordination. The answer is A. Hypothecation. The property is collateral, but the borrower keeps possession.
The answer is A. Hypothecation. The property is collateral, but the borrower keeps possession.
Question 30. A loan clause allows the lender to demand full payment if the borrower defaults. Now this is A. Acceleration clause, B. Alienation clause, C. An escalation clause, or D. A release clause. The answer is A. Acceleration clause. Default can accelerate the entire loan balance. Question 31. A clause requires the loan to be paid off when the property is sold. Now this is A. A defeasance clause, B. Alienation clause, C. Subordination clause, or D. Habendum clause. The answer is B. Alienation clause.
The alienation clause is also called a due-on-sale clause.
Question 32. A borrower makes equal payments that include the principal and the interest until the loan is fully paid off. This is A. Amortization, B. Appreciation, C. Hypothecation, or D. Leverage. The answer is A. Amortization. Amortization means gradual loan repayment over time. Question 33. A lender's interest rate disclosure and financing costs are primarily governed by A. RESPA, B. the Truth in Lending Act, C. Fair Housing Act, or D. the Sherman Antitrust Act. The answer is B. That is the Truth in Lending Act. Tyler focuses on credit terms and financing change disclosures.
Question 34. Kickbacks for settlement service referrals are prohibited under A. RESPA, B. ECOA, C. ADA, D. CERCLA.
The answer is A. RESPA. RESPA regulates settlement practices and it prohibits referral kickbacks.
Part 6.
Math in real estate.
Question 35. A property sells for $600,000. A buyer obtains a loan for $480,000. Now, what is the loan to value ratio? A. 20%, B. 60%, C. 80%, or D. 125%. The answer is C. It's 80%. 480,000 divided by 600,000, that equals 0.8, and that is 80%.
Question 36. A property sells for $750,000. Commission is 6%. The listing side receives half. How much does the listing side receive? A. $22,500. B. $30,000. C. $45,000. D. $75,000. The answer is A. $22,500. $750,000 times 6% equals $40,500 total commission. Half is $22,500.
Question 37. A property is worth $500,000. It appreciates by 8%. Now, what is the new value? A. $508,000, B, 540,000, C, 580,000, or D, 400,000? The answer is B. It's $540,000.
8% of $500,000 is $40,000. $500,000 plus $40,000 equals $540,000.
Question 38. Annual property taxes are $3,600 using a 360-day year. Now, what is the daily tax amount? A, 10, B, 12, C, 30, or D, $100? The answer is A. It's $10. 3,600 divided by 360 equals $10 a day. Question 39. A buyer pays 2 discount points on a $400,000 loan. How much are those points? A, 4,000, B, 8,000, C, 20,000, or D, 40,000? The answer is B, $8,000. 1 point equals 1% of the loan amount. Now 2 points equal then 2%. 2% of 400,000, that's $8,000.
Part 7.
Fair housing and ethics.
Question 40. A landlord refuses to rent to a family because they have children. Now, which protected class is involved here? A, religion, B, familial status, C, disability, or D, national origin? The answer is B, familial status. Families with children are protected under the Fair Housing Law. Question 41. An agent shows buyers only homes in neighborhoods where the agent believes they will fit in. Now that is most likely A, steering, B, redlining, C, blockbasting, or D, puffing. The answer is A. That's steering. Steering means directing buyers towards or away from neighborhoods that are based on protected characteristics. Question 42. A lender refuses to make loans in a certain neighborhood that is based on location and demographics. This is A, steering, B, redlining, C, blockbasting, or D, commingling. The answer is B, redlining. Redlining is discriminatory lending practice based on geographic area. Question 43. An agent tells homeowners that a protected group is moving in and the property value will fall. Now that is A, blockbasting, B, steering, C, redlining, or D, puffing. The answer is A, blockbasting. Blockbasting uses fear to pressure owners to sell. Question 44. A disabled tenant requests permission to install grab bars on their own expense. Now, the landlord generally A, automatically deny it, B, allow a reasonable modification, C, charge the discrimination fee, or D, evict the tenant. The answer is B, allow a reasonable modification. Disability-related reasonable modifications are protected.
Part 8.
Let's talk about deeds, title, and closing.
Question 45. A deed contains the words to have and to hold. Now this is A, a habendum clause, B, acceleration clause, C, alienation clause, or D, a defeasance clause. The answer is A. Habendum clause. The habendum clause defines the ownership interest being conveyed.
A deed must be signed by A. the grantee, B. the grantor, C. the lender, D. the broker.
The answer is B. The grantor. The grantor is the person transferring the title. Question 47. Recording a deed primarily gives A. legal capacity, B. constructive notice, C. consideration, or D. physical deterioration. The answer is B. constructive notice. Recording puts the public on notice of the interest in the property.
Question 48. A title insurance policy protects against A. future zoning changes, B. past title defects, C. future property damage, D. future market decline.
The answer is B. past title defects. Title insurance protects against covered title issues from the past. Question 49. A buyer receives a deed and the seller receives the money. That contract is now A. executory, B. executed, C. voidable, or D. implied. The answer is B. executed. Executed means fully performed. Question 50. A seller gives a buyer a deed that contains no warranties, except that the seller has not created any defects during their ownership. Now that is most likely A. a general warranty deed, B. a special warranty deed, C. a quitclaim deed, or D. a deed of trust. The answer is B. a special warranty deed. A special warranty deed protects only against defects created during the grantor's ownership. A general warranty deed gives a broader protection, and a quitclaim deed gives the least protection. Now, if some of these questions felt hard, that's good. That means that you are training at the highest level. The real estate exam does not just ask you for the definitions. It will give you scenarios, it changes one word, it tests whether you understand the difference between similar answers, void versus voidable, assignment versus novation, client versus customer, freehold versus leasehold. Now that is where students now lose points. But when you slow down and you read carefully, identify the key word and eliminate the wrong answers, and you become much stronger. So do not just study to memorize, study to understand. Correct. Because once you understand the concept, the exam becomes much easier.
That was fun. We hoped it helped you and to see you in more videos. Subscribe to the channel now. My name is Iwalani.
My name is Kimo, and
My name is Ben. I'm a real estate instructor and broker.
Aloha.